Hey guys, Brian Fisher with Edge Fitness. Happy Monday to you. Yes, Mondays can be happy, great days. It's all about the mindset. So get that right. Start the week off right with a great day today. And to help you do that for a Movement Monday, we're going to we hit on this last week for nutrition of just when things are stressful. Stress is high, obviously, right now in a lot of different ways, a lot of different places. But what can we do about it? We can control the controllables. That's been a saying that you've heard all over the place for this whole pandemic time and everything else, but it still holds true. And if we kind of forget that as one of our basic mindsets, control the controllables, do what you can. And when times are high, we like to talk a lot about here of not hitting pause. Okay? Dialing up, dialing down. And we take a look at that from a movement perspective, like we did with nutrition last week. So go back and watch that one. If you want to go back, easier way to do that is subscribe and share. So that way you can keep up with all this stuff that we're talking about along the way here to hopefully help you take those next steps as you take them. And sometimes the next step can be going back to basics, because those steps are just based on what is that next step going to be. If it's still in that direction of moving towards your goals, it doesn't have to be a huge giant leap. As you keep going, it can just be a small little step. Right? It can sometimes be a sideways step. Sometimes it does need to be a deliberate step backwards, sideways, forward, diagonal, all kinds of different directions. But it keeps moving you, trending upwards towards that goal, your destination, where you're trying to go at this point in time. So when we look at when times are stressful, okay, when that stress is getting really high and you don't know how much more you can take because there's so much else putting demands on your time, you just don't have as much to give because you are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, socially stressed out, and you're not recovering as well. You should dial down on certain areas, such as maybe your movement, because if you're not as recovered and you come into the gym or you're at home or whatever you're doing for it right now, whatever you're able to do right now, because it's ready, willing, and able. So some of those able things are maybe out of our control. Maybe you should be at home. Maybe you have to be at home because where you normally would go is closed. There's things you can do there, but it's about getting back to some of those basics and dialing down to a level where maybe you are just focusing on some recovery sessions. You're just focusing on, hey, maybe my training today is taking a nap. Maybe my training today is just doing some foam rolling, getting out your massage gun, whatever you have to help you recover better, to get a better night's sleep. Maybe you're doing some work on, refining your AM PM routine. Maybe you are prioritizing nutrition, working on some menu planning, some food prep for the week to help you get to bed a little bit earlier, to be more prepared for better nutrition over the course of the week. For your movement, one of those basics is, are you scheduling in time to do whatever it is that you're doing with that time that you would normally have set aside for movement training, if you're in that kind of red zone that we talk a lot about of not being very well recovered and not being ready to take on more strain or stress, which is what training is. It's a good stress, but if your system is already stressed out, okay, you don't want to add more strain to that already overtaxed system. It's just not going to take much more before something gives, okay? Before an injury happens, before you really get so unmotivated, before you maybe get sick. Not a good time to be looking at what health and fitness gives us in a positive way and doing too much when you're not ready for it and having something bad like that happen. Okay? So we want to be as healthy and fit as we can, so we have to make smart choices to do that. And again, just going back to the basics within there, scheduling a time of this is when I am going to train. If you are able to, you're in that kind of green, meaning well recovered, well rested, ready to go stage. You're in that yellow, okay, means you can still do something. You're not maybe as optimally recovered, but you're good, not great, not horrible, but you can still do something. So then maybe you're scaling, what we talked about last week a little bit. Maybe you are just kind of holding back, doing a little bit less, focusing more on recovery, but you're still doing something active. Okay? You're still able to go to the gym or do something at home. If you're into that red, you're prioritizing those other areas, but in that same time, ideally, to still be able to schedule it in. What we prioritize, so those things that are most important to us, are what we put on our schedules. What we put on our schedule, the reason we think this is so important is what gets done. So as Michael Hyatt likes to say, what we schedule gets done. So if you're not scheduling it, maybe it's not getting it done as consistently as you like. Maybe it's kind of an arbitrary schedule. Maybe it's not something actually written down or put into place on your calendar, in your phone, with reminders, whatever you would normally do for, if you would schedule a doctor's appointment, maybe to go see a chiropractor like Dr. Bowers across the hall, or whomever, eye exam, taking a kid somewhere, whatever it might be, what would you do for that appointment? You'd probably put it on your calendar at home if you have a family calendar, whether it's an app or a physical calendar, both. You would put it in your phone on your personal calendar. You would have it on your work calendar. You would block all that off so you knew to be there at that time, and you would go. Treat your training as that same thing, whether it's coming to meet with a trainer like us here, or you're coming in to work out just on your own, or you are training at home, or going for a walk with a friend, or you're just trying to just be more active. Or in this case, again, if you're not as recovered, still schedule that time. You know, this is when I want to get in the habit of going. So you're trying to establish that habit. If you set aside that time, even when you're not recovered as well, and you use it to do nutrition or do some more mindset or do some more recovery with taking a nap even, schedule that time in and then get others involved. So that way, on those days where you are more recovered and you can go to the gym, you can say, hey, talk to a family member. I'm going to go to the gym on these days at this time, and I need you to help me stay accountable for that. Getting others involved, a spouse, a family member, a close friend, a trainer, a coach, somebody like that to help you stay accountable to those basics. Are you scheduling it in? Are you getting others involved? Okay? That beats, and then coming in and actually doing something during that time beats having the greatest program on your phone or in your back pocket or in a magazine or that you just found online and never doing it, or only doing it one time or every once in a while. If you're not able to follow it consistently, it does you no good. So you need to be in that habit of coming here. Then it is, okay, what are you gonna do now that you're here? Then you can take that game up a little bit level, but you have to get here consistently. Scheduling it in, getting others involved, those are two great basic habits to get in the habit of doing. Small habits can lead to big change because, again, you are what you repeat. We love those sayings because they hold true. And when you repeat those behaviors, that will lead you to the outcome that you want or give you the best chance of getting there. That's how you make progress, not perfection. Right? So think about those basics. Are you scheduling in your training session, your training time, or when you would go if you're not able to, and when you will go when you are able to? Are you scheduling that in? Who are you getting involved to help you out? A family member, a close friend, okay, a coworker, somebody else like that, you know, to go on a walk with or go to the gym with, being obviously safely physically distanced and whatnot that you need to do to stay safe today, but to still engage in a healthy, fit activity to help you stay healthy and not get sick, especially in a time when we need it, and help you positively in the right way deal with your stress and find that right balance of life and fitness. They're not two separate things, they go together. Doing these basics are some of the best ways to hold those together even stronger during stressful times. So hopefully for Monday, this is helpful for you guys. A little break from maybe what else you were doing to watch this. We appreciate it. And again, feel free to like, to comment, to subscribe and share so you and your family and friends can keep up on these great tips and resources that we're trying to give you to help you take those positive steps on your health and fitness journey. We'll see you guys next time.